Hi, my name's Matt and I'd like to welcome you to this Zindiac training video. So portfolio management, the purpose of portfolio management practice is to ensure that the organisation has the right mix of programmes, projects, products and services to execute the organisation's strategy within its funding and resource constraints. So in simple terms, the organisation has a vision, it has a mission, it has things it wants to achieve, objectives it wants to achieve. And the portfolio of products and services and improvements to those products and services that we deliver through change, through programs and projects, that portfolio is what is going to enable us to achieve our objectives, vision, mission, and so on. So the questions we ask are, is the portfolio sufficient to achieve our objectives? If it's not sufficient, we want to achieve our objectives. If that's not sufficient and it's the only way of achieving them, we're going to need some more. So we're going to need some more products or more services or more improvement via programs and projects to achieve our objectives. So is it sufficient? The second question is, are they necessary? i.e., all our products and services, programs and projects, are they all necessary in order for us to achieve our objectives? Because if they're not necessary, why are we doing them? Because we want to achieve our objectives and that's the focus of the business. So if we've got something that's not necessary to help us achieve that, then it's a candidate for removal and certainly deprioritising, because we don't want to waste money on things that aren't going to help us achieve our objectives, because it would make it less likely that we can achieve our objectives. So they're the two key questions. Is the portfolio sufficient? Is it necessary? And then any product or service, project or program, as I said before, is it desirable? So that's, it's necessary to help us achieve our objectives. That makes it desirable. But is it achievable? Can we do it? Are we capable of doing it? And we do need to make sure. And if we're not, then we might look at it and say, well, if we're not capable of doing it, we won't do it. Or what do we need to do in order to be capable of doing it? So there you go. A portfolio, a collection of assets into which an organisation chooses to invest its resources in order to achieve the best return. The best return. So if we're a commercial organisation, almost certainly that the highest level goal is increasing shareholder value. And then we'll have some words around how we do that and break the vision down into missions and objectives, as I've said. And then everything in the portfolio is aligned to doing that. And you can see that on figure 2.1, the organisation's portfolios enable return on investments. So we look at the available funds, they enable and limit the available resources. Clearly we can't use more resources than we can afford to pay for. They enable and limit the products and services in the portfolio. Again, resources are a limit. Enables and limits the customer's portfolio of what we can offer to any given customer, and enables and limits the value to the organisation, both our organisation in terms of achieving our objectives, but also that co-creation of value for or with the customer. And you can also see how the programmes and project portfolio, which is a sub-portfolio of the overall portfolio, that's the change portfolio or the improvement portfolio, how that links in as well. And obviously coming back from the value, the return on the investment, and working down the chain, you can see that value sets objectives for the portfolio, and that's what I've talked about. So it's the objectives we're trying to achieve at any given level sets what we do, it drives what we do, it helps us answer those questions. So success factors. So I've broken them down into definition and delivery. And if you want more information on these, do look at our management of portfolios training. So management of portfolio is Axelos products, very good around the definition cycle and the delivery cycle. So the definition cycle is where we're deciding what is going to go into our portfolio and what the relative prioritizations are, and then delivery cycle is delivering that portfolio, making sure we're delivering it successfully. So the definition, we ensure sound investments decisions within resource constraints. We've talked about those. We need to look at all stakeholders' perspectives, so are included and prioritised. So we can't keep everyone happy all the time, but what we do need to ensure is that we communicate with all stakeholders, particularly stakeholders with lots of influence and power, that either we're doing what they want, so their priorities are in the portfolio, or if they're not, why they're not, and explain to them so they can understand why we're not meeting every single one of their personal priorities, because we've got other stakeholders we need to manage and satisfy as well. Strategic alignment, as I said, is crucial. So what is the strategic alignment of the organisation? What are we trying to achieve? I think it'd be quite interesting to look at strategic alignment, say, for Apple at the moment. So clearly Apple have got a range of products and services, so they've clearly got things like iPhones and iPads and iMacs, the hardware, but also they've got their software and they've got their services like Apple Music and Apple Plus, or whatever their video service is called. So to see where they're applying their investment priorities across their range of products and services, and thinking about major organisations like that, maybe others like other successful organisations like Amazon or Google, or anyone you want who you like and think are interesting. Think about what they would be doing in this space. We need to make sure that the criteria and weightings that we apply to prioritise the portfolio are transparent, as transparent as possible, so everyone can see them. And that's really part of keeping people happy. So if I'm a stakeholder and I can see that you've applied criteria consistently, and I understand that how those criteria have come about and the weightings, and I can see that they relate to the objectives of the business, I'm more likely to accept them, even if it doesn't quite match what I would like. So I'm not quite getting the outcome I want, but I can see that you're being fair. I can see it's a fair and transparent process. So transparency is very important for that. I don't feel you've kind of done something dodgy behind closed doors. And then we come on to delivery, ensuring the continual monitoring, review and optimization of the portfolio. So this is the delivery cycle, and this is a continual process. So typically the definition, it will take place at least once a year, probably with quarterly reviews, depending on how dynamic the environment is. Obviously in high velocity IT environments, very dynamic, you might even go down to monthly reviews. But delivery, you definitely review them on a monthly basis, if not at shorter intervals, as to how the business is running, how we're delivering the portfolio. So we need to define criteria to track, assess and validate the value realisation, and that is the focus. What value are we realising? So one mistake I've seen repeated in many businesses is the focus on the project or the focus on the program of, we've got a project to deliver a new CRM system. Oh, we delivered the new CRM system on time and to budget. Yay us, we're great. But the point of the project wasn't to deliver a new CRM system. The point of the project was to improve customer service. And through that improve customer satisfaction, and through that gain more orders from customers, increase our profits. And if you don't get those benefits, if you don't get that value, then all you've done very efficiently and effectively and professionally is waste £1 million of the customers of the company's money, or whatever however much the budget was for the CRM system. So we've got to focus on the value realization, and potentially the definition of done for portfolio item can include that value realization. So we are only done when we've realized value. We're not done when we've implemented the new bit of tech. We're done when we've got the value. And we need to look at tangible and intangible indicators. So tangible examples, functional, fiscal, performance, etc. Intangible indicators of experience, the organisation's image, the reputation, team spirit, morale. Do we feel we're working for a leading organisation that is driven, that is best practice, that we're doing things as well or better than other organisations? And I'm pretty sure that the vast majority of people who are working for organisations like Apple and Google are thinking that. They think, yeah, we're leading the world, we're doing new stuff, we're innovating, we're doing things in a better way. They believe in the organisation, but it's quite an intangible thing. But we need to look at that, and again, that esprit de corps is key for high velocity IT. If you want to deliver at high velocity, it's a high pressure situation. We all need to trust each other. We all need to believe in each other, and we need to believe in the processes and procedures as well. Investment health reports. Axelos loves a health report. But they are good. It's good to have that health report, kind of take a check of where we are, and it helps identify any problems, hopefully early, and the speed and level of intervention should be in proportion to the size of the problem. So again, the pain we're feeling, again, that's prioritization at that level. I hope you've enjoyed this video. You'll see a link to subscribe. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Please give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video.